It's part 2 of the Q&A, everybody, and I know you guys sent in a lot of questions in that first video. There was some more questions were added in the comments of part 1, so we're gonna have at least one more video to get through, so it's gonna be a lot of fun here. But there's a lot of great questions that I'm gonna get to in this video, and I'm excited to get to it. And we're gonna start off right where I left off in episode 1, or I guess part 1, and I said I was gonna do so. RB Music, he has a 4-part question. And that's why I wanted to start with this guy. His questions, what happened to the Teal Sports Talk podcast? Well, funny thing is, Evan, if you guys did ever check out the podcast, thank you for that. But also, things changed, nothing to do with Evan and I. We're still great buddies. We still hang out all the time, all that great stuff. But finding time, obviously we don't hang out now, but finding time to do that consistently on a week-to-week basis. I mean, he works, in the afternoon and evenings, and I work in the mornings, and it's, my days are flipped all over the place sometimes, and it's just so hard to coordinate. Plus, it was, it's so hard to do it, and we didn't really see the growth we were hoping for, at least early on, and we kind of decided, maybe it's not the greatest thing for us to keep going. Maybe we should really focus on our own work, and I can keep going with the YouTube channel. And that's what we decided on doing. It was not an easy decision by any means for either of us. We both enjoyed talking about sports. We still talk about sports all the time. It was just finding the time to do so, and the convenience, of that. It was just very difficult to do so. Now, your second question was, what is, back to sports questions now. What is your opinion on the MLB possibly having World Series around Christmas this season? That would be, it would be, a lot of people say, well, it would be stupid. Well, it's weird because I love baseball, as we all love our sports. And it would be very interesting to watch the World Series baseball game at Christmas time. But think about it, though. What if they're playing in New York? That might not even happen. Heck, what if they're playing in Toronto? We don't even know what's going to be happening with that kind of thing. So, would I be down for it? Sure, why not? Give me some playoffs at Christmas time. No matter what sport it is, I'll take it. Absolutely. Would it be different? Would I like it? I don't know. I really have no idea. Everything to do with normal life is not a thing right now, and it won't be a thing for quite a while. So I'll welcome it with open arms. And will it be different and weird? Probably. But will I enjoy it? Most definitely. You're telling me you have all 3 sports, including the World Series on? I'm down. That's my opinion. Number 3 here was, what is your opinion on the NBA, NHL, and MLB possibly playing with no fans in the stands? I find it weird. Look, I just want to see sports back at this point, so I don't really care whether fans are there or not. But I find it really odd not having fans in the crowd. I feel like it'd be really weird, and for a lot of sports, though, I think it'd be really difficult to do without it, right? You look at sports like hockey, a high-contact sport. You got to social distance. How are you going to social distance in hockey? Baseball, yeah, I kind of get that. There's not a lot of contact in that. Football's a big one. Basketball's a big one. How are you going to be able to do that? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to play it out. I don't know what's going to happen. Am I okay if they do it without the fans? Yeah, probably. I just want to see my sports back at this point. Earlier on, I was like, no, fans should be in the stands or else it's a really weird, stupid atmosphere. But at this point, it has been, 2 months, maybe a little more than 2 months now of no sports? I just want it back. That's all I care about at this point. I don't even care anymore, how many games a season is. I don't care if there's any crowds, any fans in the stands. I don't care. I just want my sports back. All right, and your final question to me was, do I follow any other sports teams outside the Raps, Jays, and Leafs? I watch a little bit of TFC here and there. Dad's a big soccer fan. Obviously, he was an English-born man, so he's a big soccer fan, big Chelsea fan. I'm just going to throw that out there to you guys. Anybody wants to weigh in on that, go right ahead. So obviously, seeing Toronto FC and being able to go to a game with him is obviously a great thing that we try to do at least every year. Maybe not this year, but we try to do at least. And so, here and there TFC, but again, not enough to dive deep into videos with. That's the reason I don't do Toronto FC videos. And again, the Argos here and there. If they're in the Grey Cup and in the playoffs, I'll watch it. And if it's nothing else is on, I'll watch it. But if we're talking about hardcore, Giants. New York Giants football. That's my team. I don't know. Ever since they beat Brady, got rid of that perfect season, I was like, oh, I like this. I like this team. And ever since then, I've been a fan of them. Plus, I have ties to Penn State University. So Saquon Barkley, pretty near and dear to my heart. I have his jersey. So New York Giants football, I guess, if you want to look at a hardcore team, and Penn State football, if you're looking at that as a hardcore team that I watch, those are really the teams that I look at. There's probably other ones that I'd watch here and there, but again, if we're talking about full on, I follow them deeply. Those are the teams that I really watch. All right, so RB Music Bud, thanks so much. He actually says that at the bottom as well. He's like, also not a question, but I hope you are doing well during these tougher times. Hopefully the worst of this will end soon. Could not agree more, man. Could not agree more. Hope you all are safe. Hopefully you're safe, and hopefully we just get our sports back soon, but safely, of course. All right, so let's move on here. Now, we have New York Sports Hub. By the way, love your videos. Who are the 3 Blue Jays players you're most excited to watch in 2020? I could be cliche as heck and say, Bichette, Guerrero, and, Biggio. Well, I wouldn't say so. I mean, yeah, I'm totally down to see Vladdy go off and hit 30 dingers and show the potential that we all know, and see Bichette grow and see Biggio continue to dominate inside the batter's box as we saw all year with his eye at the plate. But I'm going to go a little off the books with this question. Okay, you said those 3 guys, and that's an automatic answer. I can't wait to watch those 3 players, assuming we have a season. I can't wait to watch those 3 players play. Yes. But I'm going to go off of 3 players that maybe you don't hear about a whole lot. I mean, obviously, Nate Pearson is at the top of that list. He's a guy that I'm so excited to see. Not only because of the hype and the prospect rating and where he is in our top prospects and in the MLB top prospects. Watching that guy pitch in spring training just made me open my eyes and go, oh my God, what is this beast that we have in our system? And the mix of ridiculously good velocity on his fastball and be able to throw strikes with it. And the hook that he has is incredible. So Nate Pearson is definitely at the top of my list for guys that I'm extremely excited to see this season. My next guy is Danny Jansen. The reason I say that is because we saw Danny Jansen come up in that first spell that he had and do really well, and we're like, wow, this is our future catcher right here. They're going to let Russell walk away, as they did, and they're going to let Danny Jansen kind of take the reins, and he did. But last year he didn't put up the great season we all expected him to. We all expected to see. He didn't really get a lot of hits. He had a couple stretches in there where he did really well. Then Reese McGuire came up, and he was raking it all year long. So we're like, okay, hold on a second. I still believe Danny Jansen is the better catcher. I still think he's the number 1 catcher out of the 2 guys. I love what Reese did when he came up here. But Danny Jansen, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was in Gold Glove, contention last year. And the ability he has with the bat, he did not strike out very much. And that right there is a very good stepping stone. As I say with guys like Teoscar Hernandez, you can't teach power. You can't teach, you can't teach a good arm, right? You also can't teach a good eye, because when you're just disciplined at the plate, you're just disciplined at the plate. And the ability to make contact, no matter what it is. And Danny Jansen was able to do that. So that ability mixed with incredible defense, and that little stretch that we saw offensively from him in his first year and a couple stretches in last season, he's a guy that I'm excited to see. I really believe he's going to take a next jump and really kind of show us all what he's made of, because, like I said, we've seen it at times, and now we want to see it at all times, and that's what I'm excited for. And the last guy, I mean, there's many more people I could probably say here, but the one guy that I'd say is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. The reason I'm bringing him up is because this guy has not been able to stay healthy. When on the field, he's one of the top hitters in baseball, and you can't argue that. You just can't. But he has been injured. I think he had, 2 or 3 separate injuries last season. And then in his first season when he came up here, he had that injury that kind of ended his year. But I mean, it was near the end of the season, so it really didn't mean a whole lot. But that was that. And he's been kind of that, stubborn injury-plagued player. Now, can that change? Absolutely. And I'm hoping it does, because the potential in him is all-star caliber. We've seen it. And when he went into left field, you saw what that did to him, not only with his offense, and his defense was incredible. So he's another guy that I'm looking at as kind of a breakout player, and a player I'm excited to watch this upcoming year assuming we have one. All right, so thank you very much, New York Sports Hub, for the question. Ali Hader, I could be wrong with your name, but I'm going to say that you have 3 questions here. One is, what's your job besides YouTube? Now, I was debating whether to say this or not, but I'm like, you know what? I mean, if you see me, you see me, so it doesn't really matter. I work for Frito-Lay as a merchandiser kind of person there, so if you guys ever see me walking around your grocery stores filling up chips, then, hey, say hi, all that great stuff. I'm always a nice person. This is who I am, people. I mean, you want to talk to me, this is how I am. So, there you go. You know, in the Toronto area, I don't know where the heck I'm going to be a day in, day out, but if you ever see me, don't hesitate to say hi. All right? And now your next question was, do you think Giannis will come to Toronto in 2021? Now that question is, it's a very opinionated answer. I mean, everyone has their own opinion. Mine is that it's very possible. Do I think he will? I don't think so. But do I hope so? And do I think it's a possibility? Absolutely. But as the time gets closer to him becoming a free agent next year, you would keep hearing these other teams clearing off salary to make room for him. And I'm like, so how much of a chance do we actually have? Now we hear about the Lowry trades discussion. Actually, that might be a question in here at some point, so I might lay off of that. But if that's the case and Lowry does get moved, salary right down the drain, opens up a max slot. Giannis, right? So there's all kinds of things you could say. Do I think he will come to Toronto? Heck, I don't even know, but I'm going to say no, but I think it's a possibility. All right, so there's my answer for you there, Ali. And your last question, does Pascal Siakam have the potential to lead Toronto further in the playoffs? Yes. The reason I am saying that, yes, Kawhi Leonard was dynamite last year for the Raptors and deserved MVP. I mean, even though Fred VanVleet should have been in conversation for Finals MVP, but we're not going to get into that. He was the MVP of our season nonetheless, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he was the best player on this team no matter what. That is that. But you got to also realize that in Game 1 and Game 6, closeout game in the NBA Finals, if I'm not mistaken, Pascal Siakam dropped like 28 in Game 1, something like that, and then like 26 in Game 6, including the shot that put the Raptors up 3 late in the game. The fact that he was able to make shots in big games. Yes, he didn't have, obviously he's going to be doubled now. He wasn't doubled back then, and Kawhi Leonard was everyone's focus and all that. But for Pascal Siakam, I think he absolutely has the potential to do so. He just needs to be surrounded with the right players. Right? I think that's just the end-all and be-all. One player is never going to win you a championship. Ask LeBron. He's a great player, and he's one of the best of all time. But you're telling me with no Kyrie, with no Kevin Love, that he could have beat that Golden State Warriors team? No, he couldn't. You saw it in that final year. Even with, I think, was Kyrie even? You can tell how much I was paying attention back then to those teams. But they got swept in 4 games. Yes, they had Kevin Durant as well and all that stuff. But you got to realize that Pascal Siakam is a fantastic basketball player. He really is. And he's the best player on this team with all the abilities that he has. But you have to be surrounded by a great supporting cast. If Fred VanVleet was not Fred VanVleet last year in the finals, would we have won? I don't know. You need a supporting cast. So yes, I think he can, but he needs help. That's my opinion. Ali, thank you for the 3 questions there, bud. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. We have Gurdeep Singh. Wow, there's a lot here, actually. I think there's 3. Well, I'm going to only do 2 of them because I want to keep it short a little bit here. Favorite childhood moment. Oh, this is an interesting one. That is very difficult to answer. There was one that I know for a fact is that back when I was playing baseball, back when I was a youngin', lost to, I think it was North Toronto, right? You guys, I forgot what their name was, but North Toronto. We lost to them like 2 years in a row, and in the finals again, facing them for a 3rd straight year. We're down, I don't know, was it 4 runs in the last couple innings? We're like, well, here we go, 3 years in a row. And then, I don't know what clicks. We click in, we tie it, and we got a walk-off balk to go to the provincials. One of the greatest moments that I've ever experienced. I could say other ones that I've been through, college baseball, ripping a 2-run double late in the game, those kind of things. Yeah, but there's lots of great moments that I've had in my life. If you're talking about sports, at least. That's kind of what I was going for there, if that's what you were asking for. The scariest moment in my life? Oh my gosh, that is not an easy question to answer because I'm a very positive and happy person. So, scary stuff? I don't know. Man. I can't answer that question. I'm so sorry there, Gurdeep, bud. We're going to move up here to tech. Okay, you have 2 questions here. Personal questions. When is your birthday and how many siblings do I have? So that's an interesting one. We're getting off the sports topic onto a more personal matter, and that's totally fine. Like I said to you guys, heck, I told you what my job is now, so that's totally fine. I mean, whatever. My birthday is December the 12th. All right, so there's that. And how many siblings do I have? It's just me. I'm an only child. Never had a sibling. Got my parents and my cat. That's what I got going on here. You probably, if you've watched these videos religiously, which some of you have, and I appreciate every waking moment of it, you might have seen my cat kind of roam around down here a few times. But yeah, that's not many of us here. Just the 4 of us really. So there you go. Thanks for the question there, Tech. All right. So Matthew Jansen says, favorite jersey from the Jays, Leafs, and Raptors that they currently wear. That is, see, the Raptors is so difficult because they have so many jerseys. I know the OVO inspired ones are nice. Also the city ones. I can't remember exactly which one those are, but those ones were really, really nice. Also the new ones that they wore, the white, when they brought the old school one back. I really like what they got going on there. I was kind of debating getting a new jersey of that one. So that's my Raptors one. I had a couple there for you guys. And as for, if you're going to say Leafs, what other jerseys they have? I guess St. Pat's would be a unique one. Other than that, they don't really have any different jerseys. You can say the Army one, but I wouldn't really buy that myself personally. I always wear the blue ones, as you can clearly tell. I like the darker colored jersey. That's just my opinion. And as for the Blue Jays, like you said, they currently wear, I love the Canada Day jerseys. Those are always beautiful. My mom actually bought one herself. So those are my opinions on the 3 jerseys there, Matthew. Thank you very much for the question. Who is your favorite athlete outside the Big 4 sports? Big 4. I'm guessing the 4th one is either soccer or football. I can't really, I'm going to go, all right, I'll say one in football and soccer. How about I do that for you? Now, obviously, like I told you before, I don't watch a whole lot of soccer, so I could easily just go with like Messi or something, and that's probably the safe answer for you guys. And if I was going for American football, Saquon Barkley. As I mentioned earlier in the video, that's my guy. So he's definitely my favorite player in the NFL for sure. All right, so I'm just ripping through these questions here, guys. This is what I like to see. Okay, so this one, I can't remember your name. I can't pronounce your name, and I greatly apologize. I don't want to butcher it, so that's why I'm not going to say it. You'll know the question. You'll know who you are once I say the question. All right, you're like, who do you think is going to be a key factor for the Raptors to repeat? Okay, so that is very difficult to say because, who do you think is going to... So basically one player is what you're asking me. This is probably going to be the last question before I wrap this up, everybody. Okay, and then we'll answer some more in the next one. There's actually still a lot more to go. It might be a part 4, but... so to answer this question, who I think is going to be the X factor kind of thing, I wouldn't say it's one guy. Assuming the season plays out and there's still regular playoffs and all that stuff for the basketball, we could say Lowry, Siakam, guys like this, but I think a couple X factors, I'm going to say 2 of them. All right? Is Norman Powell and Terrence Davis. You could say Gasol, Ibaka, but you know what? Ibaka's going to bring you work every day. Gasol's going to you know what he's going to do. You know what Lowry's going to do. You know what Siakam's going to do. You know what Freddie's going to do. But for Norman Powell and TD2, we have seen those 2 guys take big jumps this year. Obviously, Terrence Davis in his first year with the Raptors. Obviously, as I mentioned all the way back in the preseason videos, that I was hyped for the kid. And he clearly showed the hype was real in the season. The ability to repeat. And we saw it last year. You need everybody to contribute. right? With Danny Green not working last year at some points during the playoffs, Fred VanVleet stood in and did a job, right? And then you had Norman Powell against Milwaukee, did amazing. You need guys to step up, and I think if you're coming off the bench and or you know someone's not working in the starting unit and you need to make a change, it's those two guys. You could also say OG Anunoby because you've seen so many flashes of greatness from him. You need these guys to get to work. You need them to work. As I said, depth wins championships. We saw it last season. Yes, you need all-stars, but you saw from the way last year played out, guys, the Raptors dominated a lot of teams' benches. The Raptors dominated Milwaukee's bench last year in the playoffs. To do so, to win games, you know what your starters are going to give you. But you need your bench to go to work. And that's my opinion on that, man. All right, so that is going to wrap this video up, guys. If you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed answering the questions, there's a lot more personal ones in this video. But, hey, you know, it's good for you guys to know a little bit about me as well. All right, so smack the like button if you guys enjoyed this one. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on any of the answers that I gave, any different kind of answers you'd give. Let me know in the comments below, guys. If you have any other questions that have not been asked and I have not answered yet, let me know in the comments below, because if we keep this going, then got to keep something going to the channel. And so it keeps me interested and keeps me going, keeps you guys engaged as well. All right? So, guys, Twitter's down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Patreon link is down below, so if you're interested in signing up for that, the link is down below. And I will talk to you guys, I don't know, I start a stretch right now of 10 straight days working, so I will try and find time kind of maybe in the next 3 days, like I don't know, 3 or 4 days, kind of what I did here between part 1 and part 2. But I can't guarantee anything to you guys, but I will do my very, very best to get a video out to you guys in that time of that 5 to 10 days off, and you know, maybe even 2 videos, depending on how things go for me, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys know the video. Talk to you guys then.